So last week, Sailor Moon Eternal debuted in Japan? Who knows? I haven't seen the film yet. I can't find it online. I want to see it in a official subbed version. I don't want any fan subs. I want the actual official subs from Toei or whomever is dubbing it. I don't want to watch a dub version, but I just want to see the subbed version officially because that way I'll feel good about watching it. That way I at least contributed to the company in some way. Anyway, the movie's been out for about a week, and it's really kind of nowhere to be found. Like, I cannot find it anywhere, which is really upsetting. And in less than a month, they're going to release part two. And I have no idea how they're going to then package the two films when they're done. Now, if Toei was fan-friendly, they would just do this. They would just do a combo pack. They would release both films in a Blu-ray in about 2-3 months. Maybe offer a digital release in, early April. Anyway, we don't know what's going to happen, but on the day they released part one, they released a trailer for part two. I covered it, I did a reaction to it, I liked it a lot, and I wanted to do a shot-by-shot breakdown. So here we go. So the way I decided to structure the shot-by-shot review, instead of literally going frame by frame, I broke it up into scenes, because this trailer, there's a lot of new scenes, which I really love, but they're actually like they're clumped scenes together, or like they all make sense in the sense that it's each scene is representing something that's going to happen. It's much better than the really fast frames where you have to grab each one and try to analyze that individually. So the first part of the trailer is seeing Haruka, Michiru, and Setsuna, the three original Outer Stellar soldiers, and they are kissing their rings and looking at them and wondering fondly about the inner soldiers and Hotaru and most likely their lives. Now, I had said earlier that Nako does broad strokes, really good ideas, broad strokes. Sailor Moon could have used probably another season or maybe diaries highlighting how the characters felt in their normal lives after they were done with the season 5, with the Galaxia. So this relationship between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto is very unique. And I just love how they all look. I love how it's different shots. But what I really want to highlight here is this relationship is very unique in the fact that it kind of is like Fuller House, where there are three different people that have been brought together to raise this child, but two of them are in fact lovers. And the other one is, kind of a third wheel in essence, but not really. By the way, I apologize for the computer SIRI going off. Anywho, I really just wish that we could learn more about how Setsuna feels about being part of this tripling. And I don't think she feels left out in any sense. All three of them get to be mothers. But, what does Setsuna feel? Does she want a lover? We never really get to dive into that. And I think that'd be really cool. But either way, I just love how all three look. And I'm looking forward to seeing this particular scene, is going to lead into the next scene, which will be dealing with Hotaru. And the reason why this whole thing is exciting is the first part of part 2 is the outer soldiers getting their powers back. Their planet powers no longer work, and Hotaru meets the original Sailor Saturn, who comes back and essentially says it's time for you to wake up, it's time for you to give the outer sailors their crystals, and they will now become super sailor soldiers. I think the scene is just perfectly animated. I mean, look at Hotaru. I mean, it's gorgeous. Some of the frames in this film, regrettably, are a little I've noticed that, and I just that you could chalk it up to either how animation just is, like not every frame can be perfect, but the movie's been around for about 2021. So 5 years the movie's been announced, I believe, or was it 2016? It got announced, or early 2017. So it's really close to being 4 or 5 years old, with at least an announcement. So they had time to really make it picture perfect, and that's a bummer. Like the scene of Sailor Moon, kind of recognizing that Sailor Saturn has awakened, and the outer soldiers have gotten their powers back. She could have looked better, but I really do love how Hotaru is touching, her reflection of Sailor Saturn, how Hotaru looks, and then that long shot of Hotaru and Saturn is just gorgeous. The shot of Moon, realizing that the powers have awakened, it's just all right. But again, I like how the scenes all fit together. But again, this scene is really important because in the Sailor Stars anime, Hotaru did make the outer soldier super. Saturn is that powerful that when she awoke, she was able to make Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune super right away. In this, she's giving them their crystals, which is their own power. I mean, at the end of the day, it's always all their own power, but it's just very interesting that, you know, what the anime did and what the manga did, and now how we're finally going to see what the manga did in Crystal, or Eternal. Right. The next set is seeing all of them in their super forms. Oh my gosh, I have been looking forward to seeing them in their super forms for a long, long time. Yes, we got to see their super form in Sailor Stars, but the one thing I'm really looking forward to is seeing Outer Crystal Power makeup. I've been dying to see it. I have made my own fan versions of it. I know Saturn Planet has made his current name is Saturn Eternal, that has made, you know, his own fan versions of Outer Crystal Power. So many other YouTubers have, and Outer Crystal Power, it's just something that we need to see. I mean, the inners have had their super transformations for the better part of almost 3 decades. It's time for the outers to get theirs. Now, what I do love about, you know, Pluto's particular sailor form is she at least gets to keep her keys on her skirt. The super form it does, in fact, removes the uniqueness of the inners and the outers designs. Hotaru loses that like star-shaped brooch and her flower-like sleeves, and Neptune and Uranus gain the lines. You know, they all gain lines on their back. I don't want to call it the bib. I can't think of the word at the moment. And all their ribbons look the same. And either way, they just look. It's very succinct. In the form itself is very generic, but honestly, I like it. I think it's the prettiest. I think it's better than the Eternal form. So I really do love how the 4 of them look. Again, I apologize. I don't know why that keeps going off. I really do love how they all look. And I just love that last shot of Hotaru. She is so happy, and I cannot wait to see the scene where they all reunite. The next scene is also quite excellent because it shows the outers minus Hotaru. I really hope we get to see a really cool Hotaru attack or Sailor 7 attack. I know she uses at least 2 in the in part 2 or in those acts of the manga. I don't like that we didn't get to see it here, but hey, it's more to be surprised about. So these look like they are renditions of World Shaking, Deep Submerge, and Dead Scream, all in their super form and crystal. In the Eternal. I sometimes get it mixed up. I apologize. In Crystal, when Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto did, you know, those baseline attacks of World Shaking, Deep Submerge, and Dead Scream, they did it really briefly, but the full-on animated attack was Space Sword Blaster, Deep Submarine Reflection, and Chronos Typhoon. So it's really cool that we're going to finally see these attacks animated in crystal form. I think they look gorgeous. I mean, they're not, for maybe some fans don't find that exciting, but I think seeing something new and, you know, it's from its old form, or seeing something old brought into something new and, you know, giving it this modern twist, I think it's a really nice touch. Then we also, it's so quick right after the scene with Usagi and Mamoru. It's just them essentially looking at looming danger, and Mamoru gets very sick in part 1. I know that for me in the manga, and he's sick in part 2. But this scene I just do really like them staring at the sky. It's very ominous. I think this animation looks good. However, I do think at the same time it just looks a little childish. I think like Neptune, Pluto, and, you know, Uranus in comparison look much older and much more modern. Well, I think Moon and Tuxedo Mask, or Usagi and Mamoru, look a little more 90s-esque. I mean, either way, I don't mind it. I just kind of wish all of the characters looked not the same, because that would be weird, but I would like them all to at least have the same design model. Now, the next scene we get is really interesting, and it's the largest amount of clips I have had to compile. It's Helios, and we don't get to see Helios much in this trailer at all, which is really weird because Pegasus is a big character. We only get to really see the inners, the outers, and the Amazonas. The Amazonas are the only new characters we get to see. So the first frame is, you know, Helios looking at, you know, Pegasus, who's trapped in a cage, Chibiusa crying over it because, you know, he's getting hurt. His soul is above the cage. The Twinkle Bell, or the Crystal Caroline, Carrion, whatever it's pronounced as, you know, falls, because of, you know, Chibiusa crying and trying to rescue Pegasus. By the way, and I apologize for this little sidebar, I knew this video would be exhausting on my vocal cords, so I just got a quick cup of water with a Sailor Moon cup, not an advertisement in any way, shape, or form. But I wanted to get I have a Super S cup, but my Super S cup is currently holding some of my Sailor Moon Proplicas, which are above my desk. And now I'll throw a picture so you guys can see like what that looks like. I'm a big fan of if you like a show and you can't afford it and you're happy with it. I'm a big fan of getting the props. I think it's really fun. I love having my some of my Moon props, and I love these types of cups. I have ones with different animes, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Sailor Moon. Anywho, I just wanted to let you guys know uh, that I do have some of the props, and I really do like them. And I actually just pre-ordered the Sailor Moon Eternal Kaleido Moon Scope prop. The Kaleido Moon Scope, I guess, is very different in the anime to the manga and to Eternal. So back to the frames we're looking at. The Crystal Caroline Bell falls, and then we finally get to see a shot of Nehelenia, and we get to see that amazing shot. It's like a storybook almost of Nehelenia and Queen Serenity, and I really love that shot. I think it's stunning. Again, it's storybook. Queen Serenity is the good, while Nehelenia is the bad. Nehelenia's origin is very different in Eternal and the manga, and I cannot wait to see the backstory fleshed out. Again, as I said in my reaction video, the backstory could have been so much better, but it's from the broad strokes we have, is very good. And Nehelenia is much more villainous in Eternal in the manga, and I can't wait to see that played out. The next set we get is the lovely Amazonas Quartet, who are just amazing characters. Now, in the manga, the Amazonas are well known for the fact that they get to live. Every other evil group dies. The Black Moon Sisters die. The Knights die from season 1. All of the witches die in season 3, and almost all. I actually think all of Sailor Galaxia's characters die in season 5. At least in the manga. But the Amazonas get to stick around, and I've talked about it. This manga's been around for so long that it's hard to not give away spoilers. I just know what's going to happen, and I feel like a lot of us know what's going to happen. So if you've never read it, just skip over to the next set of images, because it's a spoiler. 1, 2, 3. The Amazonas become Chibiusa's Sailor Soldiers, and that's also awesome to see more Sailor Soldiers get added to the game, or added to the game of justice, but get added to the Sailor Stars Pantheon, or to the Sailor Pantheon. I'm looking forward to it so much. I think that in the trailer, all 4 Amazonas look amazing. I love it. I have nostalgia and throwbacks to the original anime, but they also have their own unique design here. And I think and I also love how they're introduced. Vest, Junjun, Palapala, and Saresare. They're gorgeous characters. I like they have a very large role throughout the entire 11 or 12 acts that the Dream Arc is. They're very important. And, they're even more important in season 5. So I really do like these characters, and I can't wait to see them really fleshed out. I've been looking forward to seeing them for a long time, and I really can't wait to see them at the end of this movie. I think they look excellent. All right, now for the next set, I don't remember this part from the manga. It must be towards the end, towards the final battle. The inners and the outers are fighting. Clearly, they're fighting Nehelenia. I do remember there's a scene where they get trapped in Nehelenia's mirror. Again, I don't remember the details too much. I don't want to read the manga again, only because I'll just be so spoiled, and I'll have no surprises at all. I remember some of the big things. I remember the real big things, but I want to just the stuff I don't remember. It's okay. So I do love this frame. I mean, poor Sailor Moon has had her powers broken so many times. The first frame, just to go back to that for a second, I don't have too much to comment on it, only because you can't really see how they're fighting Nehelenia, but it's clearly they're fighting her shadow magic. But it's a cool frame. I love the battle scenes, and I'm looking forward to them. Now Nehelenia is after the Silver Crystal, and she's also after the moon. She essentially wants world domination. She's an evil queen. And she goes after the Silver Crystal. She wanted the Golden Crystal in the original anime. The Golden Crystal was not her target here, because the Silver Crystal is just more powerful, I believe. I might be messing that up, but I do know she's really after the Silver Crystal because her vendetta is with the moon, not with the Earth. Anyway, the shot of Moon having her powers broken, the close-up of her with her chest and seeing the brooch shatter and the crystal come out, is gorgeous. It reminds me very much of when her powers were broken way back in season 5 of the original anime when Galaxia attacks her, and I really liked that scene. Got to me like Sailor Starfighter's reaction to it was horrible because it was a horrible scene. But I really like how they're kind of like taking a little bit I would assume of the animation from that and throwing it in here and then modernizing it. But it's gorgeous. I mean, Super Sailor Moon's powers never broke. Where she was, her transformation was undone. Her classic form definitely did. By her classic form, I would mean her form from season 1, 2, 3, until she became super. And I know her eternal form did, as I just referenced it. But I think her super form always stayed intact. So I think it's really interesting here that the super form is finally being destroyed as well. And I always love how it's she's like those magical ribbons, and they're undone. Her powers have become unwrapped. It's metaphorical and it's gorgeous. I love the background, and it's such a cool scene to see, but it's so quick, and I want to see the damn film. But I really do like it. I don't have much to go off of this scene. We get to see a little bit of Helios and a little bit of Elysian, and it looks like he's activating the powers of Elysian. Now, Elysian in the manga was the Kingdom of Earth, and it was Mamoru's home, and it's where the golden crystal, I believe, was guarded, and it's where Serenity would go in the past to visit Prince Endymion. And Helios was his priest. Helios was the high priest of Elysian. And Elysian's been taken over by the darkness. Elysian also is in a weird spot in Earth. They said it's like in the center of the planet, I believe. I could be wrong, but either way, I really do like. I like the shot, especially that shot of Super Sailor Moon looking so determined, because she's like, I am done watching these people hurt my planet and hurt the people I love. I am going to save them. And I just think the shot of the Moon is probably one of the best animated shots we've seen in this trailer. She looks stunning, determined. I love the reflections in her eyes. Helios is interesting because he is an important character, and he's referenced several times in all these trailers. And I know what he is. I know what he is and what he does, but I don't think that the company, when they were making the trailer, really cared about Pegasus at all. They really were focusing on the old characters, which honestly to me makes sense because that's who people want to see. Then we have this really fun shot of Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Venus, and I can't figure out what's happening here. It looks like they're gaining their princess form. That is my guess because of just the strings and the chokers happening on their neck. Their princess form happens when they give their eternal power. When they give the power to Super Sailor Moon to become eternal, and we see that all of them are princesses, and they are in really pretty ball gowns. I've talked about this several times. It's something I'm really excited to see. The princesses of the galaxy. It's a really cool scene in the manga. We could have gotten so much more of it with the original. If we got an extra season, that would have been a cool thing, seeing the flashbacks of all them being princesses. But they all look stunning here. They truly all look stunning. In the little bit of Eternal that I saw, I didn't see Mars, Jupiter, and Venus. But I love how they look here. I love the backgrounds. I love the determination of Venus and Mars's eyes. I think Jupiter looks just gorgeous. And Mercury looks great too. Mercury is honestly one of my least favorite characters for Sailor Moon. I never really just connected with the character, but I think she looks stunning. It's this gorgeous, gorgeous scene, and I can't wait to see what it leads to. I love the pretty backgrounds of Sailor Moon. People love the classical backgrounds. And that's why I'm really happy just to go over these with you guys. What is your favorite section of this trailer? I mean, it's a good trailer. All right, then we have the scene where Sailor Moon is clearly unleashing the power of the Holy Moon Chalice, and she's going to gain her eternal powers. And then we have what it looks like is a Sailor Planet attack with 8 Sailor children. I believe Mercury's there, Mars is there, Venus is there, Jupiter's there, but Saturn is not. Saturn had gone off with Chibiusa at this point to do some other form of mission, essentially to free the Amazonas Quartet, I believe. And now the 8 of them use their Sailor Planet attack, which is really cool as well. I think that's awesome that the 8 of them get to do an attack. And because they're really a fun group themselves, they had an interesting dynamic in both season 3 of the anime and season 3 of Crystal. They're definitely, the friends are allies. Saturn is sometimes kind of an odd duck where she's friends with Chibi Moon, and she's also the Outer's daughter. And so she clearly is an Outer, but she's the one that she doesn't always securely fit in, but that's because like her story and her background is just, relatively shrouded in mystery, which is why Saturn needs more time. Again, I think a whole series of Sailor Diaries would be a really good thing to see. Either way, I love the scenes. I mean, the scene of Sailor Moon with the moon chalice. I believe it's a chalice. Just I know that is used several times. The chalice doesn't vanish 100% as it does in the Super anime where it is destroyed. Here, it just is converted, and it reminds me very much of how she looked back in season 3 of Crystal. Either way, I think these are all really stunning, and let's see more of them. All right, next set of frames is Eternal Chibiusa, or Eternal Chibi Moon. She looks so gorgeous in that frame with Helios. She's trying to wake him up. I love it. The frame of her with her hand on her chin, she doesn't look like herself. It looks a little disjointed. I'm not a super fan of it, but it might be just because of the fact it's a close-up. But her with Helios, she looks stunning. Her hair is perfect. Her eyes, her expression, it's love and compassion. Helios is her person. Helios is her lover. And I love it. I just love that scene, and I can't wait to see... I want to see Chibi Moon in the Dream arc is really interesting. Chibi Moon in the manga is much better than Chibiusa in the anime. I found Chibiusa very annoying in season 2. I liked her in season 3. I didn't dislike her in 4, but it was too much for 4. And the focus of her on 4, removed the outers. It was just how they wrote it. But in the Dream arc, she's fantastic. She's a great, well-developed character. She's a well-developed character in the original anime as well. Don't get me wrong, but she's just so much better here. And I just can't wait to see. I can't wait to see her interactions with Helios and her, her feelings of romance and her feelings of betrayal, and it's gonna be great. And then just there's that scene of Usagi hugging Mamoru. It's soft, it's cute. I don't really have too much else to say because Usagi and Mamoru's relationship is honestly one of the most boring parts of Sailor Moon. I mean, it's a crux. Don't get me wrong, and I don't dislike it, but it's not something I want to always harp on because they're the destined lovers, and Mamoru's love helps make her strong. But at the end of the day, what makes her strong is, the confidence that she gains from the fact that she's loved by everyone, not just by Mamoru, and that she's strong herself. But either way, I do like the shot. I just don't really care for it. It's a really excellent shot that we will see, regrettably not in this trailer, when we see the movie with Mamoru and Sailor Moon, or Usagi, when they become their king and queen form, and that'll be a shot to talk about. The last set of frames... we have Moon doing her In the Name of the Moon, I Will Punish You, and then seeing some Eternal Sailor Moon. Now, Sailor Moon Eternal is clearly based on the fact that at the end of the films, of the part 2, she becomes Eternal Sailor Moon, which was a big deal. It's her strongest form. Quite frankly, I think it's the ugliest form. I think her super form is much more attractive. I think it's better designed. I think the Eternal form is just way too clunky. But I did like how it looked. I don't like the form style, but I like how it looks here in this movie. The frame for doing In the Name of the Moon, I Will Punish You, I didn't grab the frame 100% pulled back, but she's on like a field, like black roses, which is Nehelenia's trademark. She's going to try to stop Nehelenia, which she has to do. Nehelenia is her antithesis. It's one of her mother's arch enemies, and she can't let Nehelenia win. I think the frame of her face is better than the frame of her with the moon silhouette behind her. Again, some scenes have amazing animation, some scenes don't. But her transformation into Eternal Sailor Moon at the bottom is phenomenal. Like, look how gorgeous she looks in that her face is so determined. She's gaining her powers. It's stunning. Like, I really, really like it. And I cannot wait to see Moon Eternal makeup fully done in Sailor Moon Eternal. Actually, if I'm correct, I think it's not even Moon Eternal makeup. I think it's Silver Moon Crystal Power makeup. I think that's what the transformation is. And then the outers and inners all use, Planet Crystal Power makeup or whatever. Mars Crystal Power makeup, etc., etc. Either way, I just love the shots of the Eternal form coming up to life, and I love Super Sailor Moon so much, and I really like the Dream arc of the manga. So there's a lot I really want to see. I really hope that we get Moon Gorgeous Meditation with Chibiusa alone. We've seen a lot of double in the trailers and some clips. I really hope that we get a single, and we need Chibiusa's single crisis makeup as well. Either way, I love the trailer. It's a really, really good trailer. There's a lot of stuff in it. And I mean, it's not overly detailed because they just kind of took like still frames, and there's a few things I forgot, and there's a lot of things I remembered. But I'm looking forward to seeing part two. Nonetheless, part two is the one I really want to see, and I'm really glad I got to do a shot-by-shot analysis with you guys of the this trailer. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and as soon as I find part two or part one, I will intend to review it. That is my goal. I want to get a good review of part one. It's gonna be a spoiler review. There's no reason to break it up at this point. And then same thing will happen in part two. I also was thinking, back to how they might release it. We might not get to see it till it's out on Blu-ray, which is weird. I know a lot of people don't believe in buying Blu-rays just because who wants the physical media. I'm an advocate of buying Blu-rays if it's something that you will keep and cherish, and it's like that hard copy of something that you really love. I have all of my Sailor Moon on Blu-ray. Crystal is on Blu-ray that I have too. Sailor Moon is I have a couple TV shows and movies that I like on Blu-ray, just because they're personal to me. It's like my favorite, and of course Sailor Moon is one. So I will be definitely getting this. However, it's released. Because I want to talk about it, but who knows when that'll be. So thank you so much for watching my shot-by-shot breakdown of Sailor Moon Eternal Part 2, the trailer, and I'm looking forward to your comments and your thoughts in the comments below. Keep watching, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.